I've been thinking about the year 1619 literally since I was in high school, which was, a few years ago. That's when I first came across a date in a book called Before the Mayflower. And I came across the date in a period of self-study. It wasn't a book that my high school or any class had ever taught me. And the book talks about the year 1619, and it's called Before the Mayflower because, of course, the white lion that carried the first enslaved Africans to British North America arrived a year before the Mayflower, and yet every American child learns about the Mayflower in 1620, and no American child, including me, had been taught about the year 1619. So even as a high school student, I really understood the power of that erasure, and that erasure was intentional, and it felt deeply empowering to me as a high school student to know that our people had actually been here for that long, and I wondered why no one ever bothered to teach that to us. So fast forward a few years to the end of 2018, and I'd been thinking a lot about that this anniversary was approaching, the 400th anniversary of American slavery, and that like so many moments in Black American history and in the history involving slavery, it was going to pass and there was probably going to be no national recognition. Most Americans had never heard of the date 1619. And I just knew that my working at the New York Times presented a tremendous opportunity to do something about that. And I started to think of what could possibly give justice to 400 years of marginalized history. And that's when I thought about pitching a project that would not be just about the past, but that would do what I feel like all of my work for the last 2 decades has tried to do, which is to show the way that the past informs our present. To really make the argument that almost nothing about modern American life has been left untouched by the legacy of slavery, even as we have tried to pretend that slavery is just an asterisk to the American story. So that's ultimately what led me to pitch the 1619 project, understanding that a single essay, a single story would not possibly be big enough. I wanted to show that across all of these very surprising aspects of American life, that we can trace them back to this original sin, and to answer that kind of quintessential question that every Black person in this country gets at some point, which is slavery was a long time ago, why don't you get over it? This project was the answer to that we cannot get over something that is foundational, and that our country has never gotten over it.